Hello everybody, this is Lance Hightower here outside of Tulsa today. I'm outside of Cleveland, Oklahoma. A friend of mine, he allowed me to get some wood today. I'm actually cutting wood for deer camp this year. And believe it or not, I'm actually exactly on the location of where there was 3 Dogman sightings. Last year, or actually this past summer, there was one about, as the crow flies, about half a mile from here down the ravine near some neighbors. This is very remote woods. You've got a lot of piney hardwoods, pin oaks, cedars, a lot of rocky soil here just west of Tulsa, a lot of ravines, creeks, sometimes occasional ponds. So there was one sighting you won't be able to see. It's about 50 yards in front of me right here, where a sighting where my buddy's wife, she saw 2 together, and then she saw one on another occasion, probably within a couple of months, and that was about 2 years ago. And then last year, his son-in-law saw one coming up the driveway. The driveway comes up this direction, and behind the camera is just a rocky dirt road, and it circles up to their place about an eighth of a mile in this direction. But he saw it crossing over this fence. You can't see it through the trees. There's a 4-strand barbed wire fence, or 5-strand, and it jumped right over about 50 yards in front of me. But it's been a while since we've communicated, and I wanted to kind of update you on a lot of things. I think it's important. We really respect you guys a lot, and as I always say, without you we wouldn't have a show, and I do mean that. And you know, we got this show started 2017, January 20th, and here we are coming up on almost 2 years. Not quite, but almost 2 years, and a lot's happened. I've taken a little bit of sabbatical the last couple of months. As many of you know, my wife and I are moving. We had a kid move out of the house into college, another one moved overseas, and we've just been getting the house ready to sell, paint, pack, fix, repair, all those things that you got to do when you sell a house. And we're still looking for buyers and things like that. So a lot of that's been done, but we're still working on that right now. The other thing that kind of slowed us up was just bizarreness. I had my computer messed with. It was behaving strangely, and not just, you know, sometimes computers have a glitch and you're running too much data on it and you got to transfer. I understand that. But this was different. I had files moved around. The biggest thing was my phones. I had people that I had previously done shows with and interviewed, and they contacted me back, and at least 2 people did, and they were both upset. He was upset, and he just said, "Lance, if you didn't believe me, why did you go ahead and do the interview?" And I wasn't following what he was talking about. And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I did a reverse check on this number. Is your number da-da-da-da-da-da?" And I said, "It's not ringing a bell." And the reason why it didn't ring a bell is because it was a piggyback number that I use for training purposes in the future. I record some of the conversation so I can use it in future training for employees. And I said, "Oh, that's a piggyback number. I don't give that number out, but it's kind of an indirect business number, but no one uses it." He said, "Well, that's the number I got a call from." And there was a person claiming to be an insurance person. They called at 11 o'clock at night, and he went on to talk about how this person asked personal questions, how long he's been employed, and he really wanted to know the gist of what happened. And he just gave it, and reluctantly, but he still gave it. And I said, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." And because I knew there's no insurance person going to call 11 o'clock at night. Secondly, he is an employee. He wasn't the employer, and so he has no say in the insurance premiums. He's an employee, and so I knew when he was telling me, red flags were all over the place. And when he did a reverse check, my number came up. So whether you want to call them the Men in Black, the Mr. Lynches, the Mr. Smiths, the feds, the agents, whatever you want to call them, they were using my number. And they knew that probably he would do a reverse check and kind of create some friction. Another person contacted me with a toll-free number, didn't call me directly, and he's probably watching. I have yet to contact him. I've not been able to reach him, but if he's listening, you know who you are. You're in Oklahoma, and we hit it off really well. We were going to go, my brothers and I were going to visit his property. He did have a Bigfoot encounter with a couple of Bigfoot, and it wasn't a terrifying encounter. And we were going to go with no cameras, no mics, anything. And he called, this was back in February of this year. He contacted me back, I'm thinking early summer, no, excuse me, midsummer, like July. And the message was something like this. He said, Lance, I'm very disappointed. After we spoke since February, I've had helicopters in this area, which I've never had. I've got military vehicles in this area, which I've never had. I've got blacked out SUVs, government tags. I've got people around this area. And he assumed that I was working with these people, and he didn't give me any benefit to explain that these people are very sharp. They can monitor anything, and how they knew, what they knew, I don't know. The only thing that I can assume is that they were listening in on the conversation, as they do, and they listen to shows. But on the show, this is why we don't give detailed locations, is because I know they listen to these shows. I can't tell you which show they're listening to. I can't tell you when they're listening to it. But I know they picked up on where this location was at, and I feel bad for him. But he just assumed that we were working with him, which is totally false, inaccurate, and I despise these people. So my brothers and I all do, and including Wiley. So I apologize that these people were out there when they had no right to be there, but this is what they do. So if you're listening to what I'm saying here, you could say, Lance, that's a bunch of conspiracy, and you know, it's nice to kind of get hyped up here to promote the show. No, I'm not doing that. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy realism or realist, is that this does go on. Whether you want to believe it or not, it does. And the reason why it does is because these are not just animals, they're beings. And it falls underneath a national defense issue, for lack of a better understanding. They falls underneath a national defense issue. They messed with my phones, but I think I fixed it. That's why I was reluctant on calling anybody, posting any shows, doing anything on my computer for a while, because it was encrypted, it was infected. So I had to get creative and do some things. I'm not going to talk about what I did if they're listening. And this way I can call my guest without the concern or worry that they're listening in, and without a concern or worry about, if they listen to a show, that they're going to gain information and location from that way. So you just got to get a little smarter, and I've learned a lot in a short time, like within 3 or 4 months. So that was a big thing that happened this summer, and why I kind of took a sabbatical, those 2 reasons. But our website also is an issue, so we just completely dismantled it. And we're just, my brother Bill is going to help with that, and he's just going to take over. And so that should be up soon. We've had to completely dismantle, and just starting again on that aspect. We're excited to really think about the future of the show, even though we've had this stumbling block here. If you remember back, there was a big announcement that we were going to let you guys know about, and we haven't let you know. So here's really the big announcement. I did want to put this out to you guys because we value your comments, plain and simple. And that is this. And I want you to comment with a yes or a no in the comment section. Here's my question to you guys, and to see if you would be remotely interested. And if not, that's fine, but I'm going to throw it out there. I'm wanting to know if you guys would like me to do this full time. In other words, if you want me to continue what I'm continually doing, of course, interviewing people as we do with the toll-free number and people calling in, but in conjunction to that, traveling, going in on-site locations, going in the woods. I've got GoPro cameras. I'm going in, I'm questioning people, but I'm going on location, whether night or day. I will stay the night there. I will gain audio, video, everything I can. And in conjunction to that, I want to get the heart of stories that are going on across the country. And as many of you know, I don't know if you know, I've got a mobile health clinic. And so I would be willing to convert my mobile health clinic into like a cryptid command center. I would have people on board, I would be interviewing them, give you what you have been telling me you guys want. That's what I would do. Now to do this, I'm thinking that if I can, I'm just, everything costs money. I know some people are, well, here it goes, Lance, but nobody works for free. Everything costs. Cable television costs money, Netflix costs money, and so as you get into this and you start spending more time, it takes a lot of time to do this. So at one point in time, I don't do this full time. I would love to, as I just said, but to convert from healthcare into this, there has to be some exchange, as many of you understand that. And I'm thinking that if I have a membership of somewhere between $6 to $7 a month, and if I could get at least 500 or more of you to support with a membership to support us that way, then that would be awesome. That would be enough. I would announce I'm doing this full time. I would give you more shows through the week. I would travel and tell you where I'm going through the week, and I would go to remote locations. I would tent camp and go in remote locations. You would come with me. I would do more live Facebook and YouTube, and we'd be able to create some really cool shows for you. That's really the big announcement. It may not be big to you. It's kind of to us, is that if you want me to do this more full-time, we're looking to at least get at least 500 subscribers or more that would be willing to pay $6 to $7 a month to support us in doing that. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that would help pay for fuel and my time and things, and then it can grow from there. So that's the big announcement. If you want me to do this full time, we want productive comments, please. If you're going to leave a hateful comment, it's the analytics of YouTube will kick it out. I'll never see it. So just leave a productive comment if you would, because I will look at them and just say yes or no, and would you be willing to support for $6 or $7 a month? That's it. And in doing so, I really want to give you guys some quality things. I have some ideas I don't want to share yet, but I can tell you we have worked very hard behind the scenes. We've kept a lot of things at bay just because of everything that happened this summer. Again, unexpected, but it happened. You just kind of pick up the pieces and move on, right? So that's what the announcement is. If you want me to do this full time, let me know, yes or no. And I want to know what you want to see more of, and if you'd be willing to spend for a monthly membership of $6 to $7 a month. Plain and simple. If so, if I get at least 500 or more people saying that they want to do that, then I will seriously do it. And I'm a man of my word, and I will take you with me as much as I can. I'll have video cameras, we can afford more equipment, and a lot of you are saying you want more video, you want more insight, you want someone going out researching the locations. Like this, I've been down on all these woods here, I've stayed here at night. Now I've never come in contact with anything, but I'm willing to do it. And so if that's what interests you, and you trust us and I trust you guys, you'll let me know. So just let me know if you don't mind. Outside of that, everybody seems to be doing okay. Wiley and I were getting ready to have a very special, I guess you could say more of a documentary with him. Many of you wanted to know more about Wiley's 2013 Dogman, what happened to him, and I showed some video of us out there hunting, but many of you said, show me what the area looks like. Give me step by step what happened, and so we're going to do that. We're going to go back out here in the next couple of months when it gets colder. We're going to start from the very beginning. We're going to start in the morning and take you back to that day in 2013 that Wiley had his encounter. We're going to walk that area, exactly what happened, what he saw, where it was standing, how it was standing, everything. And you won't want to miss that. That's really going to be a very unique episode with Wiley out there, because there's only two people he has shared where this remote location is. He doesn't want anyone to go out there because it's very secluded, and he's just kind of protective of it because he doesn't want anybody getting hurt. So I'm like the second person he's shown, and he took his dad out there shortly, maybe in 2013, I think he said, before his dad passed some time ago. So I feel very honored that we're going to go back out again, and we're going to film it for you guys. Outside of that, everybody else is doing great. We've still got a couple documentary series we're going to air for you guys. We've already shot, and we're going to get with Mike, and we're going to go over that and edit that. It just takes a little bit of time, and we've got some exciting things coming. Rob was very, very sick over the summer. Again, just one more thing that happened. He was very ill over the summer, and so that kind of held up our sculptures. But everyone that has a sculpture ordered, we have expedited a couple things, and so you'll be getting more than what you ordered. If you ordered one, you'll be getting like 3 sculptures. If you ordered 2, you'll be getting like 4. And that is just because it's been delayed, and that's our way to thank you and tell you we appreciate you. So now we're at 19,000. We feel very blessed and honored that we're still going strong here. We're just still going to put out the shows, and we enjoy what we do. We have a love for this, an obsession, a passion. These encounters are terrifying, but as I tell my brothers, they're real encounters that happen to real people. It's about people, helping them cope, understand, helping them learn that not many places are you going to learn what these creatures are, that they are real. And we're not about judging people when they call. You don't have to. See, there's 2 parts to an encounter when people try to tell someone that's never had an encounter. The first part is trying to convince them that this is real in so many ways. And the second part is just telling them what happened. And if you can't get past the first part, then it's very hard to accept the second part of what happened. And so most people have these encounters. It's what I call is, and rightly so, it's kind of like verbal vomit. They just throw it out there. I had this encounter, it was this day, it was big, black, hairy, it came across, it growled and did this and did that. And these people are sitting back, sure, right. So they're just wanting to tell someone, please believe me, it really, really happened. And they just want to get it off their chest, because when you see something this terrifying, it's incredibly, it gnaws at you at a neurologic, deep core, psychological level, and can affect so many other aspects of relationships, your work habits, your sleep. And so so some of this, people will acquire PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. It can be at various levels, mild, moderate, or severe. We associate PTSD mainly with a lot of war type of involvement overseas, which happens and has happened and still goes on. But you can also acquire it. A husband, a wife, a child, an elderly person, a middle-aged person, it doesn't matter what background. And they can acquire something like this, seeing these things, because it doesn't fit what they thought is the norm of what should be. It's so out of the parameter of normal that they don't know how to place it, and it's terrifying. So we get calls all the time, all over the country. Everybody wants to know what are the 3 hot states that we get most calls from. Everybody wants to know the 3 hot states we get most calls from. It is Florida, Ohio, and Oklahoma. And then everything else is kind of a smatty, it kind of goes in a roller coaster. We've been getting a lot of British Columbia. We've gotten some from Mexico, East Texas, Oregon, Washington has been on the list here recently. Kentucky, California, Northern California, let's see, North Carolina, South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Virginia. So it's just kind of all over, really. Especially the British Columbia, we've been getting a few of those. Very, very interesting. So, and then we've gotten some overseas in the UK and Australia. So I'm just letting you know, I would love to do this full time for you guys. We have a passion for it, and I have the latitude right now in my life to do this. But if you can just give me your honest opinion, if this is something that would be of interest to you, I will look at every comment. I can promise you that. I will look at every comment and I will tally up the results. And if we hit those numbers and that's something that people say, yes, I'll do it, then I'll let you know and we'll go with it forward. We'll rock and roll and we'll get going, and I'll announce it and I'll tell you the beginning date and what we're doing and when. So this is another update here to follow up that I wanted to talk about. Two more things. One is that our monetization got lost because we think now that there was another channel that tried to copy our channel very close to our title, and they took some of our shows, they pirated or stole our shows, and I think YouTube saw this as us trying to recreate another channel, and they called that duplication. And they just they don't give you a warning, they don't call you, they just cut it off and tell you, oops, sorry, you've been demonetized. And monetization just means that you're getting some ad revenue, some monies from Google AdSense, and that you know, it helps. It wasn't a lot, but it was helping buy some equipment, some fuel for us traveling around the state just a little bit. And so I know Brenton has talked about this on his show quite a bit, and it may not seem like a big deal, but when you're growing, when you spend as much time in a podcast, at some point you want to at least have some compensation, and that's only fair for the amount of time it takes to do a podcast and to do it well. And I think some others out there have talked about that are doing podcasts full time. It's like anything, if you want to do something well, it takes time, right? So, but when we got demonetized, it was kind of the rug got pulled out from under us, and YouTube doesn't explain themselves. You don't get to talk to a live person. I've been on forums. I've left multiple messages on, I think I left a message on a couple different numbers, not knowing if someone's ever going to listen or not, and of course no one's called me back. This was almost 2 months ago. So the show that got us, the show that I think copied us and they stole some shows, it's on your phone. It's called Bigfoot and the ampersand, not A-N-D, but the ampersand, Bigfoot and Dogman Cryptid Encounters. Again, that's Bigfoot and Dogman Cryptid Encounters, and they've got some Bigfoot faces at the top. They're very creative. This person doesn't give their name anywhere, and they have about 6 of our shows. They have about maybe 2 or 3 Vic kind of shows. They have maybe 1 or 2 of Brenton shows, and then some others. I don't know who the shows are, but I don't know who it is. They're trying to be sneaky. They've got about, it says right here, 94 subscribers, which is not a lot, but they have quite a few views on our shows, and so that's stealing to us. So one way you can help support any show creator is making sure that before you click on a show, make sure it's by the show creator. So if it's our show and you know it is, you can see our little thumbnail of our picture. It'll say Cryptid Brothers Investigations. That's just one way to help support the show, because when you click on a show by the show creator, Google recognizes of that being important, more important. And also, that show creator may be getting some AdSense monetary reward for that. So it's a small thing, but it's a huge thing. So just before if there's any favorite shows that you're out there listening to on the podcast, make sure it's by the show creator. And if anybody is out there stealing other shows, give them your 2 cents, what you think about it. I don't like thieves, and I was really mad about the subject, but what are you going to do? These people are cowards. They don't put their name up there, and so if they don't put their name out there, then in my books you're a coward. And so if you're going to steal stuff like that, then I'm going to recognize you on our show so others know who you are, and someone will find out who you are. So enough of that. So just make sure it's the show creator. Secondly is this rig here. I wanted to this was kind of part of the big reveal or big announcement and I've been wanting to show you guys this and just see what you think. Just throw it out there. I built this mobile rig that I'm in right now. About 95% of it I built, the exterior and interior, and lots of hours. I built it for a mobile healthcare clinic, and I've been having this operational probably about a year, but as far as the finished product that you see now, I don't have my decaling on the outside, but the interior is about almost complete. But what I thought about doing is, if I get enough subscribers that would support us on a monthly membership of say $7 a month, I would make this in the first mobile cryptid command center in the country. And it's kind of cool on the outside too. It's been raining, it's a little dirty, but when I fix it up, wax it up and everything, and get the decaling on, it'll look really, really cool. You guys will really be proud of it. So as you can see, I'm going to take you for a little tour here. So I did all this interior here. We could actually take all this out, have tables in here, do a mobile podcast. I can have GoPro cameras in here. I can sleep in here. So let me take you on the outside here real quick. I'm at my storage place. So, you know how we talk about the men in black being in vehicles with tinted windows? Well, that's what I've done to this rig right here. Now, it's dirty right now. It's not really shiny, but I'll show you another picture when it's really clean. It looks really pretty cool, but here it is. So what I've done is painted all black, Class CRV. I've tinted the windows, and this can be the first ever in the country mobile cryptid command center. I'll take this to events. I can have people come on board, take a look. I'm going to get my grill, my lights, my LED lights up here at the top with my antennas. I'm going to get a winch on the front. I'll put my decaling on the side. I can have people come on board. I can do events out of this thing. I can pull up to someone's yard. I can actually have them come aboard. I can have them come aboard and we can do podcasts. And we can do anything. I can have all my products in here for mold casting, investigation purposes. It'd be the first ever. And I would have you aboard. I would put my GoPro cameras up here. And I could travel to places like the Ohio, episode 24, the Ohio Bigfoot attack and Fed cover-up. I could go out there on site. I could go to Florida and talk to Richard on site, see what's going on. I could go to some places in Oklahoma that no one's ever been, and go to these very locations that I know you want. You talk about you want more video. Well, if I can do this full time, you'll get a lot more video, and it's not bad for just a few bucks a month. I want to bring you something that you've never seen before. So, and if you allow me, I'll do it. I just wanted to update you because you deserve it. You follow us, and I want to give you behind the scenes more of what's going on. So thank you guys so much for paying attention here, listening up, and following us. We appreciate you guys very, very much. So this is Lance Hightower with Cryptid Brothers Investigations of Oklahoma. And until next episode, I'll see you soon.